my work with Taste of Honey is actually very important with Janice and Hazel and that particular entourage at that time was a very important stepping stone in my production career. There's no doubt about it in several different ways. First of all, let me give you a little background on how it happened, because I was basically producing jazz records, and I'd done a couple of records. I did one with Dee Dee Bridgewater. I did something for Capitol with an artist named Raul de Souza, who's a trombone player, and Michael White, who's a violin player for Elektra. So I'd done some jazz artists and one vocal artist, who was Dee Dee Bridgewater. I got a call from Bobby Colomby, who was then working at Capitol Records in the A&R department, and he says, "Look, I want you to work with Taste of Honey." I was like, "Taste of Honey?" I said, "They've had some huge hits." Now, I hadn't even thought about having records that sell as much as they had been selling. You know, they're a big group, they were touring and all of this. You know, I was still playing nightclubs. So, but I had a certain amount of expertise when it came to jazz, you know, and doing that kind of music. So this was like a stepping stone in my career if I could secure this. So he said, all you got to do is basically work with them, you know, work on their arrangements, and I'll give you co-production credit, and we'll produce the record together. So I said, hey, I can do that. I met with Janice and Hazel and some of the other guys in the group, and we sat around and started working out arrangements for the various tunes. Most of them actually wound up on the record. And first day of recording at Westlake Audio, everything was set up. Bobby set everything up. I got all the music copied, got it ready to go. Bobby called me on the phone and says, "You can handle this. I'm not going to be there." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "You can handle this. You produce the record. I've got other things to do." I'm like, "Whoa, wait a minute. First day of recording now. Biggest group that I've ever worked with." So I get to the studio. I'm like, first of all, I'm scared, right? I'm like, Jesus, man, this is an awesome responsibility. This is not like doing a jazz act who I know is going to sell 10,000 records, you know. So we get, you know, but it was a wonderful experience. Janice and Hazel both believed in me, apparently, though I think they must have been a little nervous about the prospect of me doing this record too. But you know, Janice has always been a take control kind of woman. Now the record went well. We had a party after the record. It was a wonderful experience, and I have to tell you about one thing on the song Sukiyaki, because that was like the big song from the record, and I got to tell you that song would not have happened without the fortitude of Janice-Marie, who believed in that song from the beginning. When she first brought it up to me, I was like, really? She wants to do Sukiyaki? Now that's kind of interesting. But she says, "No, this is great. We can do this." I came up with an idea. We got Claire Fisher to do a string arrangement on it to bring that class to it, put a little R&B kind of bass to it, and kept it very melodic and you know, changed a few little hip chord changes here and there, but basically a very simple arrangement. Obviously, she went through a little thing with the record company. They said, "Well, we don't hear this. We don't want to put it out." Let me show you how much she believed in this thing. Now, she should tell you this, but from my understanding, she went to battle for this song because she knew she had a record here. And as the third single off of that record, it's the one that propelled not only their career again, it propelled my career. Because with a record that strong, that crossed the board, became a #1 smash, my phone started ringing. You know, I started getting calls from the Jeffrey Osbornes, the Denise Williams, the Melissa Manchesters, the Barry Manilow's. I mean, it went across the board from, you know, the Miles Davises. It launched my production career. Let me put it that way. So this record single-handedly was one of the most important, if not the most important, stepping stone in my production career. And I owe a lot to Janice for that. I love you.